Hey Facebook, hey Instagram. So last week we did a poll on Instagram and we had all of you guys choose, between digital marketing for business or for career. So today we're going to talk about digital marketing for business. Thanks for voting. And the reason why we're talking about digital marketing for business as well is because we'll be, having a new intake for our digital marketing product launch bootcamp on July 4th. So this digital marketing product launch bootcamp, how we differentiate it from other courses out there is, in the duration of 5 weeks, you actually launch your own products online. So we actually have a product for you to sell, whether it's a physical product or a B2B business or, a business that requires leads. And during the 5 weeks, you actually build your own landing page, launch your own Facebook ads, launch your own Google Ads campaign. And during the 5 weeks as well, you see how your ads perform and you'll be able to optimize it and also make it better. And also you see results. You see whether or not you make a sale or whether or not any sales come in. And at the end, you'll learn things like chatbots, SEO, and really be very hands-on to actually launch your own campaign. So it's really a bootcamp. It's not a theory class. It's not a concept class. So yeah, we hope to see you on July 4th. So today we're going to talk about digital marketing for business. So Andre, do you have any stories? We've had a few business owners join our digital marketing product launch bootcamp. Can you share with our audience some of the students that have joined us for the bootcamp?
So a lot of them are actually business owners, right? Who face a lot of trouble in their day-to-day because, like, number one is some of them are just trying to get their products out there, and they were asking questions like, why are there so many people who like my post? I pay to boost posts, like my post, but no one actually buy anything. So they ask questions like this. Like, they also ask questions like, what are the ways that I can use to, make sure that my company appear in the first page of Google. And a lot of them, I think, after the bootcamp, a lot of them grow their businesses. Let's just say they were doing 1 million, now they're doing 2 million. A lot of them also, some of them actually started, venturing into having their own, starting their own business from scratch, right? Because they've been through the whole 5 weeks, they know the process, they know what framework to look at, they know how we do things, and they can think by themselves this time around. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. So in our product launch bootcamp, we've had people who own their own, sticker company. You can see on our Facebook page, there's this girl called Fiancee who has owned her own company called Sticker Bear. We even had e-commerce marketers. We had, people working for big companies as well. We had, agency owners in our last batch. We had agency owners, people who own their own businesses join our bootcamp, and they had very, specific questions like Audrey said, and how do I get my company ranked on Google, how do I use Facebook for their businesses? So with the questions that you have through Instagram and through Facebook, we will start answering some questions. And if you have any questions as well on Instagram or Facebook, please do, leave a comment, or on Instagram, leave a comment there. We'll answer it live. If we happen to see it, our team will let us know. And we have a few questions today, about 9 questions. And even after this webinar, if you're watching this, recorded, we have questions as well. You can feel free to DM us on Facebook, or, feel free to send us an email, and we'll get back to you regarding your questions. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. So we'll get right down to the first question.
Yeah.
So when it comes to businesses, because there is a rise of social media out there. So Ilham Ciplat Sono, he actually asked us, what types of social media marketing out there, and what are the social media channels that are good for business? So I'll give this question to Audrey. So
yeah, I think the most standard ones we all have already seen. We know Facebook, Instagram. And then of course right now people are talking about Twitter. How is it like using Snapchat? Some people also look into things like, WeChat. There are so many things, but I think, the question is, how are they different, from one another? So one key thing to look at is that different channels have different demographics, right? For example, someone who uses Facebook and someone who use Snapchat and someone who use Instagram, they are so different in terms of age group as well, right? I guess like Facebook, people will always say that it's for older people. Snapchat would be for the younger generation. I think Instagram, it covers a huge range of people, but obviously people who are in their maybe mid-20s, right? So, and then also, people use, let's just say Facebook to get updates, politics updates, news updates, but you don't see people doing that on Instagram. On Instagram, people, check out where the other person went traveling. So I think these are some of the key things to look at. What do you think?
So as in the first week of the product launch bootcamp, what we actually teach our students to do is we do an exercise called the customer avatar. So like what Audrey said, different social media channels have different type of audiences. So you need to identify. So we already asked students to identify what is their customer, what is their ideal customer. So previously in our last batch, we were selling health products. We were selling MCT oils, chia seeds, and also we were selling one more is the protein powder. So the students needed to sort of identify what are the behaviors of their customers, what are the pain points, what are the behaviors of their customers, and where do their customers spend time. So if like, let's say you're selling protein powder, most of your customers will either be on Facebook or on Instagram. And after that, during the product launch bootcamp as well, we do teach you how to market on Facebook and Google. But what I tell students is the social media channels are means to an end. Two things when you do on social media, if you're doing an e-commerce, besides doing sales, it's also about building community. So, we cover something called email marketing. So a lot of people who do massive e-commerce really believe in email marketing, because this is where you build your subscribers and you constantly communicate with them, and you build a community. Same with Instagram as well. Once you have a huge following, it builds that credibility there, and also it lets you leverage on your community. And then secondly, we can do sales on all these channels as well. So are there any experience when it comes to doing conversions on all these social media channels?
I think when it comes to doing, I think one of the, you mean with or without money?
Both, I think both.
I guess with money, I think there are a lot of, especially for Facebook, there are a lot of ad objectives that allows you to really ask Facebook, hey Facebook, look for someone who would actually buy my product. And I think this is something that we emphasize a lot in our class, right, in the product launch bootcamp, that ads. Yes, you want to get the ads to as many people to see it. But one good thing about the digital platform is that this digital platform actually knows so much about us that they know if you're going to buy it or not. And during that course, right, what we do is that we get students to actually try to figure out and try to find these people and learn how to use all these platforms, take advantage of the full potential of these platforms to look for the best customers that would really matter to everyone, to us.
Yes, so part of the course as well, once you learn how to create content, we will actually let you launch your own Facebook ads. So when it comes to social media, advertising, Facebook ads is the one that is the most exciting one. Everyone's talking about it. It's because it's the only platform where you really can put your videos, put your creativity, put your content as part of the advertising. So for a lot of e-commerce, marketers, or for a lot of business owners, that's where you want to put your advertising in. So yeah, I think that's so much for social media. And do give us questions if you have further questions when it comes to what social media channels to use. All right, moving on to the next question, which is quite a deep question. It's by Sufsman96. Is how to retarget the audience for the business. So first, I need to explain what is retargeting. So before we get to how we're going to do it, retargeting is basically you already have an audience that either consume your content or been to your website. So it's basically either your customers or someone who has actually interacted with your brand. So retargeting is reaching out to people, retargeting, reaching out to people who have actually had a touch point with your brand.
Yep.
So how normally do we do retargeting for business?
I think this is really, really cool. So I'm going to use students as examples. They always, they always say, hey, you know what, I have all these people who come into the website. I got their emails, I got their, their phone numbers, but I don't know what to do with them. And I think that is a key thing, right? How do you actually, retarget these people? And one good thing is that when you actually have their contact, like their emails as well as their phone numbers, you can actually upload them into all the social media platforms. And we tell our students, upload them into the social media platforms, because the social media platforms will look for these people in their space and then remarket to them and then retarget to them. So assuming if you were to buy, let's say I buy skincare today, and you have an estimation that Audrey is going to finish using this skincare in 4 months' time, and then in 4 months' time you can retarget me, right? Because you know that I've already used the product already, and you already have my contact number and my email. Yeah, feel free to retarget. But there are also other ways, of retargeting. Yeah, to you.
Yeah. So as part of the our Facebook ads module in our product launch bootcamp, what I teach the students is you can do custom audience retargeting on Facebook. So like Audrey said, if you have phone numbers, you have emails, when you upload them onto Facebook, Facebook actually knows who they are. So imagine you have a portion of your customers who are your high lifetime value customers, means that customers who spend the most money. What you can do is you can tell Facebook, hey, these are the people, I want to upsell them some things, Secondly, you can also do, what you can do is, what I teach in the product launch bootcamp as well, how does Facebook know who visited your website? Partly is because we have something called a Facebook pixel. So what you can do as sort of retargeting, the most important thing that you can do is to get people who didn't convert, who went to your website. So imagine someone who's been to your website, whether you're selling an e-commerce product or whether you're doing a service, and they didn't become your customer. They went to your site, checked you out, and for some reason, they didn't convert. What you can do in Facebook remarketing is you can tell Facebook, hey, these are the people who visited my website. Can you give them a remarketing ad to tell them to submit their lead or make a purchase?
Yeah.
So that is the best way, the most essential way to do remarketing. So one of the examples I can give you, if you ever go to let's say an Agoda website, just go there now. And when you visit a specific hotel, what happen to you is when you go back to your Facebook newsfeed, you see the ad for that specific hotel. So that's how the basic remarketing you can do. Of course, you can do very advanced ones like your customer's phone number or whatever, or you can also retarget if you have an advanced Instagram audience, you have a very engaged Instagram or Facebook audience, you can retarget for people who watch the video or people who watched or people interacted with your social media channel. So previously in our product launch bootcamp, the last batch that one group sold at MCT Oil, because she did a retargeting on someone who watched a Facebook video. So what we do is we actually teach students to run a video ad, and like hundreds of people actually watch that ad. And what she did was she targeted people who watched 50% of that video, and actually a number of people who watched 50% of it actually bought a product. So yes, that's cool. That's cool. So that's how you can do retargeting. A new question just came in. We'll address that later. So yeah. So if any questions when it comes to retargeting, do let us know, and we will get back to you. So hopefully you get a lot of value of remarketing here in this webinar. So let's move on to the next question.
Okay, so the next question is by PetY616. What is the most efficient method to promote business through digital marketing, social media marketing, content marketing and email marketing? So let's just repeat. What's the most efficient method to promote business through the digital marketing? Is it social media marketing, content marketing, or email marketing? What do you think?
That's a great question. So as a small business, I understand where the premise of this question comes from. Great question, Pat Y. So as a small business, of course, you have limited resources. So what I teach the students is when you have limited resources, you have to prioritize what you can do best. Because you don't have like a 10-person team. If you have a small business, you don't have, and you only have a limited amount of time. So what is the best channel, or what is the best digital marketing that you can do to get you the most results? So I will give you an answer that is quite typical, and I don't want to say this, but it all depends on your business.
Yeah.
But so some businesses you cannot advertise, right? You cannot do any Facebook ads or Google ads. For example, if you're doing any business related to blockchain, you cannot really do any advertising. So then you have to do email marketing. It also depends on the nature of your business. If you're doing e-commerce, right? So let's talk about e-commerce for a while. If you search for anything, let's say laptop Malaysia or handphone Malaysia on Google, you will see Lazada, you'll see Shopee heavily investing on Google Ads, because when someone searches for a specific product, it means they're highly interested and very easily convert. But e-commerce also works well on social media. When social media has a lot of targeting, people using a specific device, or people using at a certain stage or like certain demographic. So you can also give them that awareness to buy the product. But that is more of a challenge, and people have got great results from social media marketing as well. But it all depends on your business. That's for now. So Audrey, any thoughts on this?
I think this is one thing that I always tell people, like, all these different platforms that you have, they are not, sometimes they're just not the end goal. You need to see how you can put all of them together to make them work together to reach your ultimate goal. So I think this is one key thing that we actually talk about. I think especially in class, right? We always talk about funnel marketing, and I think this is very new because a lot of students come up to me and say, I've never thought about doing digital marketing in a manner where there is a funnel, there is a way. We need to figure out how to use all these different social media platforms to ultimately reach that goal. They said that, this is the first time trying to think about things in that manner. So I think funnel marketing is one key thing. So, just like what Bob said, you can definitely focus on things that you are best at, right, because of constraints in manpower. But at the same time, you also need to start thinking about your funnel and start thinking about funnel marketing.
In my experience as well, it depends also on the price of your product. So when we do marketing for Next Academy, just to share with you, we are everywhere because of the price of the product. People need a longer consideration stage to purchase. You need to be on Facebook ads, you need to be on Google, you need to be everywhere. And then you need to do remarketing, which we talk about, to actually convert them. And over the course of time, we also do email to remind them and to educate them about the perks of the course. But if you are selling something that is a commodity, like if you're selling something like clothing, or you're selling something like fashion or shoes, then you don't need email marketing per se. You don't need so much community building because it's a commodity, it's a fast transaction product. You just need to show up in Facebook, show up in Google, and people will buy. And of course, this also goes back to what is the most efficient way. So I think a lot of you business owners are doing B2B, right? A lot of our students who come to our bootcamp as well are service business owners. And for B2B, what works well if you are prioritizing is especially LinkedIn and also Google search. So we have also done B2B products in our product launch bootcamp before. We actually got students to actually promote a B2B accounting software. So what they did a lot was on Google Ads and also on email, which is the best channel when it comes to B2B. So it depends on the nature of your business and also depends on the price of your product. So if you have further questions, when it comes to your specific business or your specific price of your product, do let us know. But it's a great question. This is quite a broad question, but it's a great question. Okay. Next question comes from Baked KL. And so Baked KL has a question that is very specific to Instagram. So she asked, how does the Instagram algorithm work? What strategies can you use to have the users see your posts in their feed aside from being notified? So just to give a background on this question, a lot of business owners, especially when it comes to services or e-commerce, do use Instagram for their marketing, and the biggest challenge is appearing on the algorithm, appearing on the feed. And besides getting notification, how can they leverage Instagram to actually grow their business?
So I think this is definitely a question that so many people ask. Like, hey, especially in class, right? People say, hey, how can I grow my followers? How can I get more people to like my stuff? And so on. I think this is definitely something that is that we talk about a lot. So I think for this question, we should definitely break down into two things, right? Number one is the quality of your content, right? That's one. And then of course, secondly, is there any way to hack the Instagram algorithm? So I think the first thing first, quality of the content. I think number one, in just like what we do in class, right? We always say, go back to your customer avatar. Go back to your customer avatar. What do they want? What are they looking for? Because if you know your customer avatar, then you know what kind of people who would be in your IG, followers, who are they, right, as well. And then from there, I think you move on to creating, content that is really something that is impactful, something that they care about. I think I see a lot of people who do content that they just put it up for the sake of putting it up there. But just as an example, I think this is one of what Bob did, right? Is that, for example, Kidomo. It's a place where children, go and enjoy themselves. And obviously, if you look at Kidomo, you see a lot of happy faces of kids running around. And of course, you're thinking like, oh, who's going to be the one who is looking at Instagram? Parents will be the one looking at Instagram. And you're like thinking, hey, why are these kids so happy playing in this place? What place is this? And that's when you capture the person's attention as well. So I think this is one key thing, right? Content, quality content. I'll pass the second part to you.
Oh, okay. So when it comes to the Instagram algorithm, from my experience working with multiple brands out there, how you actually hacked it is actually three things you need to hack to actually hack it. So Instagram actually chooses the content that has the most engagement for specific hashtags. So how do you appear in the explore section on Instagram is you have to be the leader in that particular hashtag. And how you be the leader in the particular hashtag is have as much relevant hashtags as possible. Secondly, second advice when it comes to Instagram, and we do tell this to our students as well, is the frequency. So when you post on Instagram will generally, so if you notice, if you follow 1,000 people on Instagram, you follow 5,000 people or 200 people on Instagram, Instagram does not show you the content of these 200 people. What Instagram shows you is the people that you most engage with. So by posting more, by increasing your frequency, you increase the chances of people interacting with you and increasing your chances of your content being shown. Third as well, how to hack the algorithm. I've seen many brands do this and many content creators do this, is you have to encourage engagement. So what you can do, sometimes what you can do is you say something like, like today is today is a birthday, happy Monday, comment your friend's name if they have a birthday today. Or, you can, share about, let us know if you have any digital marketing questions. You encourage the comments, you build that engagement, or give a like, any sort of engagement plug. Give a like if you agree with this quote, or you say comment yes if you agree with this. So when you create that engagement, Instagram will actually promote your content. So three things: hashtags, frequency, and create that engagement. That will get you very far when it comes to the Instagram algorithm.
I think like for us, one of the key things is sometimes people do ask like, oh, you know what, how do we create content? How do we create so much content? I think one of the very interesting things that we do in class is really like tell everyone, guys, we teach them a set of, rapid content creation methods and say, okay, guys, within today, within the next couple of hours, collectively, everyone should have more than like 20 content already. So this is one of the key things that we get people into that whole mindset. Like, what are the key things that we need to know to make sure that the content is impactful? Just like what Bob said, what are the 3 things that we must include it in our content, and how can we rapidly create this content over and over and over again? I think those are very important things.
Yeah. So for Bake KL, specifically for Bake KL, so Bake KL, just to let you know, is like an artisanal bakery here in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
So what you could specifically do is you can post a picture of a cake and say, hey everyone, this is like a special cake. So comment below your favorite flavor, whether it's chocolate, vanilla, or everyone who loves chocolate, please comment yes or something like that. So you encourage that engagement there.
Do the poll thing as well, right?
To the poll thing, especially on your post, create some comments. Then your post will rank, will come up as well on the algorithm. And then put in the relevant hashtags, and of course the frequency is there. And another thing that I would like to add is when you are so specific, like a Kuala Lumpur, bakery, do put in the location tags as well. Like tag the specific location. And actually, there is no shortcut to growing Instagram. The best Instagram out there, Gary Vaynerchuk, he actually said this in one of his posts. He said it's the $9, $19, whatever the dollar. $1.80. So what he means is 2 cents every 2 cents, and you put it to 180 per day. So how you constantly grow your Instagram very fast is to give engagement. So how do you grow it? Is you go to people. If you're in Kuala Lumpur, go to influencers or people in Kuala Lumpur, comment, like their post, and people say, hey, this person comment and like on my post. I'll check them out, and chances are they will follow you back or not. But by doing it 90 times per day, you increase your chances of people following you back. So there is no shortcut. When it comes to Instagram growth. There might be shortcuts, but it's not recommended. It's giving engagement, putting hashtags, putting in the work in terms of the content, and then you will grow. So that's all for Instagram. And let's move on to the next question.
Yeah. So let me just bring it. The next one is by Scotty. Scotty said how to choose the good content to make for our business so that the engagement with our audience still maintain, and at the same time, not to be overwhelmed by too many content, so that so that the manpower wise will still be able to have the time to cater for it. Your thoughts?
There is no such a thing as too much content. In fact, you can create as much content as you want. Yeah. But it's more of how you differentiate your content. So when you're creating a video, sometimes try a different person or different background. When you're doing a post, try doing something different once in a while. Have as much content as possible, but have some diversity. So there's not too much content. When people ask me questions, I would ask them back, what is the objective of your content? Whether it's to drive sales or to build community. So, always have in mind what is your objective when you create your content. So there is never too much content, especially in this social media world, because every day we are getting content from everywhere. So it's about showing up. If you create too little content, no one knows about you. So create as much content as possible, because everyone right now is bombarded by content, and you need to stand out.
Yeah, I think I understand when people say, oh, you know what? Sometimes there's just so much content to create. How much is it? What's the minimum amount of content that I need to create? What's the maximum amount of content I need to create? I think one key thing is sustainability, right? Make sure that it's sustainable. And as mentioned, I think, just like what I say, when we are in class, what we do is that we actually teach students tips and tricks on how to create content rapidly. How do you create videos in just less than 10 minutes, right? Those things are possible. But then the key thing is really getting to the mindset of creation. You cannot be distracted. But when you are very, focused, you would be able to create a lot of things at a very short time. And I think, that's what you said. There's no such thing as too much content, but really getting into the creation mode lah. And not to do just like lame content lah, but then really doing content that is valuable to the audience that you're catering for.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of businesses that do very well, not because all their content is about selling, not that all their content is about their product, but what they do is they provide value. They give education. So just to give you a sneak preview, what I teach, what some of my mentors teach in the content creation class is there are basically 4 types of content. So there is the information content, which you tell people where you are, what's the price of your product, just basic information. And then there is the education content that we talk about. It can be a webinar, like what we're doing right now. It can be a white paper. It can be a thought leadership article. And the third type of content is inspiration. You'll see a lot of brands out there, they have quotes, they have like Happy Monday, they have like whatever. So you just need to inspire people, maybe some touching video. So it's inspiration. So you can give value in these 3 types of content. The 4th type of content, which is quite popular as well, maybe you can get influencers to do it, or can get content creators to do it, is the entertainment. So a lot of brands out there, they're very successful brands, the big brands, they have like commercials that really entertain you. They have things that, they do stuff with funny or entertaining commercials. So these 4 types of content, if you rotate between these 4 types of content, you create these 4 types of content every day, you'll never run out of content, and you can stand out when it comes to content. Great. So that's all about content. And I think you've realized that we talked a lot about our product launch bootcamp. So the product launch bootcamp again is coming on the July 4th. And I think our team, will put the link here on Facebook as well, so that you can go to that link, check out what is our product launch bootcamp. The next date is July 4th. Look at the modules as well. And then you can sign up. And hopefully I'll see you at the product launch bootcamp. So move on to a next question by Dan Bliss, which is quite a regular question that we get on from our students, is should I use Facebook ads or Google ads for my business? So what are your thoughts, Audrey?
It depends.
Yeah.
Everything really means like it depends. First thing first, if you ever want to look at things at the platform perspective, then obviously people will say, as many platforms as possible. But by the end, the question you should ask yourself is, what's the goal? What's the purpose of you using the platforms, right? For example, Facebook ads and Google ads are so different in nature. And this is something that I always tell, my students, and say that, hey guys, Facebook ads allow you to discover things because they push ads to you. You want or you don't want, you also get ads, right? Yeah. But for Google ads, it only appears to you when you are searching for it actively. So I think these are the things that I often see myself reminding the students, and then I ask them straight, what is the purpose? Which part of the funnel are you targeting when you're writing, when you're trying to focus on these platforms? That's very crucial. I mean, I've seen businesses who, I remember the student who came up to me and we just chit-chatting. He's like, you know what? She was just it was for a facial company, and she was just saying that, you know what? Like all this while, we have always been using Facebook ads, and then we have never touched, Google ads at all. And she said, then I put up Google ads. I've been getting, I've been getting 2 or 3 times the amount of business compared to what I had previously, right? And then that's what you say that, hey, but people can say, but it's facial. Facial, it should be on Facebook, right? But for her, Google Ads was the one that brought in business. So really understand the purpose and understand which part of the funnel you're targeting.
Yeah. So the short answer, should I use Facebook ads or Google ads? It's both, right? Yeah. But, we actually had this experience in our last product launch bootcamp. So we were selling things that were at a very low price point, about 30 ringgit. And the Google ads, so for your knowledge, Google ads actually cost per click or cost per, for people to go to your website actually cost more, because Google is a more competitive platform. Facebook ads as well. So when you run advertising, first, before you run any advertising, you have to consider the cost of your product. If your margin of your product is like 7 ringgit or 8 ringgit, when you do any of this advertising, you really need to go for the quantity. If not, your cost of advertising will not be covered in your product. But by all means, like already said, selling a facial, if your facial is 2,000 ringgit package, then by all means use any advertising channels, because what you get back is very, you can justify with your margins as well. So when I teach in the product launch bootcamp, I always teach people about the marketing funnel, and you can Google a marketing funnel if you are on Google. So marketing funnel basically goes from awareness, consideration, and then action. Basically, when you are doing Google ads, you are at the consideration phase. People, when they're searching for the best facials in KL, they are actually looking for facials, right? They are actually very ready to be the customer. So that's why Google ads cost more, because it's a very high quality customer. Whereas if you're on Facebook, people are not looking for it. Basically on Facebook, if you're doing ads for facials, you're targeting maybe females, maybe people in their teenage years, or people interested in healthcare, or people interested in cosmetic products. But you can do as much awareness as possible, do as much remarketing as possible, Facebook. But these people on Facebook are not looking to buy from you, because they are there to look at cat videos, they're there to look at their friends' updates. So you will convert, but it still takes time. So that's the difference between Facebook and Google ads. Facebook ads, you still start from zero. You basically build the funnel from the awareness stage, whereas Google ads, you straight away go into consideration and making them into your customer. So that's the difference between Facebook ads and Google ads. So I hope that answers your questions, Dan. Great question, but the straightforward answer is both, but it all depends on the price of your product. So I think we have some sort of question from Naga, which is a great question. As a newbie business, which one is better? Do ads, hard sell ads, or build awareness with organic? Yes, this is an amazing question, and I'll jump straight away to answer it. So recently I talked to an e-commerce expert, and what she realized is they are basically, so this is a very top level question. So there are basically mistakes that marketers make. Sometimes they build too much community. So when you talk about organic awareness, you are building community, you're building your email list, you're building your Instagram followers, and sometimes you go for the ads and you do the hard sell. So for me, it's both. For me, it's both. You need to do both. You need to build the community organically, because you need to go for the long run. You need to go for the long term. But you also need to do your ads to convert right now, so that you can survive and be there for the next month.
Yes, exactly.
So you need to do both. But if you had to prioritize, I would say, we as Next Academy, we work with a lot of startup founders as well. Sometimes they ask us for advice. What startups generally do is they do Google ads, because like I said just now, Google ads are bottom of the funnel. They will convert fast, and if you have to choose one channel to put all your efforts in, do Google ads, because you need that sale to continue to do business next month. So any thoughts on this, Audrey?
I totally agree, right? When you're building awareness with organic, it's going to take a long time. Right. So unless you have all the time in the world and all the money in the world to burn, feel free to do that. But the thing is that as a newbie business, you cannot be waiting around and not having sales. So you definitely need to have both organic and both ads working together hand in hand. Always remember this, that don't see all of them as singular things, right? They need to work together to reach your goal, right? Don't see them as separated. So I think to this question, it's not about what's better. It's about both need to work together.
So the other mistake that marketers make is they do ads only, right? So then you don't work on the long term. So in the bootcamp, I tell people as well the importance of brand. So right now, if you let's say you want to fly around Asia, you would Google AirAsia. So with a good brand, with a good organic following, let's say you want to upload something onto the cloud, you don't Google cloud storage anymore, right? You Google Dropbox.
Exactly.
So when you have a good brand, you convert better as well with your ads. So you will do ads. So when you build on your organic brand following, it helps to minimize your cost for your conversions on your ads as well. So ideally, you should do both. If you need to focus on one, of course, do ads, get in the revenue, but don't make the mistakes of doing ads only without working on the organic side.
Yeah.
Your cost will increase over time. So do both.
Do both.
Yeah,
hand
that's
in hand.
the answer. So next question, Audrey.
It's by Jason Budi Tong. Okay, so the question is how to leverage the use of chatbots to garner more sales. Okay, how to leverage the use of chatbots to garner more sales.
Yeah. So one of the modules or one of the weeks in Product Launch Bootcamp, we do actually have a specific day where we teach you how to build your own chatbot.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's this year is sort of the year everyone is talking about chatbots.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the trend word is conversational marketing. We have things like Intercom, we have Drift, we have Mobile Monkey, we have ManyChat, all these chatbots around this year, and it's the year of conversational marketing because it's like the CEO of Drift, David Cancel, he said, imagine going to a shoe store, right? And then you have a question about the shoe, and then when you ask the salesperson, a question about the shoe, and then the salesperson comes and tell you, oh yeah, please drop your email and then we'll email you the answer. So that's what happens if you don't have a chatbot on your website. People don't have a way to even submit their question. They don't have a way to interact. They don't have a way to get quick, fast information. So exactly. It's like you go to a store and then you ask something about the product and then say, oh yeah, please leave your email and then go back home and we'll tell you about it. So that's why a chatbot is important when it comes to increasing your conversions on your website. So are there any ways to make increase the sales with chatbots?
I think with chatbots, the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you trying to do chatbots because it's a trend, or is it really going to help? Is it really going to help with your sales, right? Because chatbots, people use it for different purposes. Some people use it for information purposes. Information doesn't exactly, change to sales, obviously, at least not immediately. Some people use it for support purposes. People always talk about this, but how many people are using it for How many people are using it for sales purpose, right? We need to keep in mind that chatbots today is still not so sophisticated where it can replace a customer service or salesperson exactly. So I think when it becomes when your product is very simple, very straightforward. For example, let's just say I know that I want to buy coffee, and then so happenly Starbucks. Okay, let's just say Starbucks in Glomax sells coffee, and I just need to type in. I will straight away think, okay, type in go to Starbucks coffee and then say that I'm coming at 10. I want dark coffee. That's all, and I'm coming at 10. And I just key it in. I put my payment through. Very simple stuff. Those things, those sort of chatbot where you want to, push for sales, those things will be a lot easier. But let's just say you want to sell clothing. I think which is also good, but at the same time, I may have other questions that I want to ask. Like, what kind of cloth is this? Is this nylon or nylon mixed with something? What kind of size is this? My waist is this size, but I'm between S and M. Like, what should I get? I think there are a lot of all these things that yes, chatbots today will still not be able to, fully help you cover those questions. But that's why you need to keep those in mind, right? What are the limitations? But of course, at the same time, what are the pros? What are the good things that it can offer you as well? When obviously, we are only a few hours, 8 hours, let's say 8 hours in front of the computer. The other time we still need 8 hours, we still need sleep, right? So, chatbot is there to help, right? It will not be able to really truly replace you exactly, but it's going to be there to help you to actually help you basically when you're not there, imitate you a little bit when you're not there. And also for chatbots, I think not just to sales straight away. I think this is one key thing that I talk to students about. I just told the students, the one who have just graduated, I said chatbots is great, but it's only great if it's also helping you not you just giving information, but you generating leads for your business as well. So the big question is, how can you use chatbot to generate potential leads? I think those are very key things to think about.
Yeah, talking about leads, one thing I love about chatbots, like chatbots like Drift, chatbots like a lot of chatbots out there is capturing leads. So when someone interacts with the chatbot, a lot of times what happens is they capture their email. So whether or not they buy from you, you have that email, you have that potential customer, you know who they are, you can nurture them or do Facebook advertising to them or whatever. You actually know who visited your website and you captured that lead for a person who asked a question. And I think one thing that's very important when it comes to creating that chatbot is providing information. So to provide information, you need to understand your customer very well. You need to know what are the frequently asked questions from your customers. So whether it is the price, the shoe size, color available, where to buy, what time are you open, where you are, everything. You need to know what are the frequently asked questions so you can put that chatbot there so you don't have to answer all those basic questions. And hopefully through that chatbot itself, you will make a sale or conversion. So that's great when it comes to chatbots. If you want to learn more about chatbots, do come to a product launch bootcamp and you can build your own chatbots as well. So finally, we come to almost the end. Last question from Mandy Yap. So Mandy Yap is a very spooky question, a bit of a horror question. So what Mandy Yap asked, she was on Facebook. She asked us in our next digital marketing lab. So if you have any questions as well, you can visit us on the next digital marketing lab. So how can we prevent ghost users? Ghost users or users with weird foreign accounts. You get some person from Russia or whatever, when you do engagement and likes, from engagement, likes and follows. So a bit of a background on this question if you have not run any Facebook advertising before. So, sometimes you post a content on Facebook. What happens when you run an ad is, you get a lot of very weird names or very weird accounts engaging with your ad. And a lot of students ask me the question, how can I avoid them? They are coming to our account, they are engaging with our ad, and I think we are wasting money, doing advertising, especially in Malaysia. So Audrey, what is your experience when it comes to this, weird accounts?
Okay, so I think this is a very super common question that a lot of people ask, right? Especially business owners who come to our class. They definitely will ask this question. Okay, I think first thing first is this, right? It really depends. I mean, a lot of people use boost posts these days, right? People use boost posts. People go for engagement ads, right? And I think these are the things. If you're going to use boost posts or engagement ad, people are very likely. It means that Facebook is going to look for people who are most likely going to engage with your ads. And who likes to click on likes and do weird comments the most is that category of ghost users, right? So I think one key thing is in terms of prevention for ghost users or weird foreign accounts. Number one is targeting. Targeting is super important. Right? Because with a lot of people don't really bother about targeting. They just go like, oh, I want like 19 to 24 years old, that's it. No, you need to definitely zoom down your targeting. That's number one. And number two, also think about what is your ad objectives, right? I think this is one thing that we always emphasize when we're in class. Like, your ad objective really, really matters, right? You cannot just, simply choose objective because Facebook is so powerful. They give you a bunch of objectives. It's up to you to know how to use it or not, right? So if you choose things like ad engagement objectives, then you very likely will end up getting people who just like to click on, love and like and things like that, who would always end up, to be in this category of people. What are your thoughts?
So in the Facebook advertising class, what I teach as well, so targeting is important. Objectives are also very important. So let's talk about targeting first. So one of the things I teach in the Facebook advertising, we call it part 2, is lookalike audiences. So if you want to avoid all these foreign accounts or you want to avoid all these weird users, what you can do is you can tell Facebook, hey, this is our customers. This is the seed or custom audience. I want to look for 10% of Malaysian population that is similar to this audience. So when you do an ad based on this targeting, you'll most likely avoid the foreign accounts, because they will look for people who have similar interests and similar behavior to your seed or your custom audience. Secondly, also, my experience when it comes to setting the objective, when you set an engagement objective, of course, you'll get a lot of weird accounts, because they're the most likely to engage. But so this is another thing I really want to say. If your post or your ad doesn't get enough engagement, when you do a conversion ad, you might not get a lot of likes, you might not get a lot of comments, but what you get, from my experience, is that post or that ad will get a lot of sales. When it's a good conversion ad, you don't always get a lot of engagement, but what you get is a lot of landing page views, or you get a lot of conversions. So two things you need to do to avoid weird accounts is to get your targeting right, whether it's very good demographic behavior or targeting, or doing a lookalike audience. Secondly is to set your objectives right when it comes to the Facebook campaign objectives. So yeah, I think we have answered all of the questions. We've spent around an hour. It's been an hour. Thank you so much for tuning into the live webinar. Thank you Facebook, and thank you Instagram. And we really want to, the whole objective of this bootcamp is to really empower individuals, people who have a career or businesses. We really want to see, make a difference in your business. We had a lot of students who went back and said, it's the best investment they ever made. They really went back and implemented all the things they learned in the bootcamp on their business or their work, and it really, helped them get more business, or help them, start a business, or help them to go to the next level in your career. So I really hope to see you on July 4th on our product launch bootcamp, and do sign up, or be part of the waiting list if you can't join us for this time. So I hope to see you on July 4th on the bootcamp. And so that's all from us. So thank you so much again, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.